All right, we are looking at an iPhone 4 that I found in my many things that I have laying around. Found an old box full of trinkets, and it actually had this screen on it. Look at this horrifying screen. I don't miss those days. I mean, people still crack their phones, but I feel like the original iPhones were a lot more prone to this kind of stuff. The pain in the ass about this is the iPhone 4, is that in order to replace the screen, you had to take apart the back of the phone and take out the motherboard. All the innards were basically laying flat on the screen, which I think after a couple of generations, they realized this is the most likely thing for your phone to break. So let's make it a little bit more accessible to replace the screen. Eventually, it became a lot easier where the screen, once you took off the two screws, was the first thing that you could sort of lift open. It took a long time, but it's a lot easier to repair an iPhone now than it was back then. But let's just take a quick tour of this iPhone 4. Number one, I'm still blown away. This phone came out in, I think, 2009, no, 2010, 2011, around that time. I have to check my facts, but I mean, the build quality of this thing is incredible. Back then, smartphones, we're talking about early smartphones. You had the Blackberries with the physical keyboard. You had Palm Pre. You had early stages of Android phones. You also had Windows phones, but those phones were plastic with the capacitive display. This thing is glass sandwich, glass on this side, glass on this side, and then I think this is aluminum. I mean, even in 2026, this still holds up pretty well. I mean, this is solid. This is feels really high quality. And this is back in the days when carriers used to subsidize phones. So you would get this phone, you would only come out of pockets at most 200, or unless you got the larger storage, maybe $300. You would sign a 2-year contract, you get the phone at a discount. And yeah, I mean, it was actually a lot better back then. Now you have to finance the entire phone, and you still don't get any deals on your plan. But yeah, the home button, as you can see, is not in the best quality. And this is the one without Touch ID. They didn't introduce Touch ID until, I believe, the iPhone 5S. The iPhone 4 was still using the 30 pin. Don't miss those days. Proprietary chargers, 30 pin. You got two firing speakers on the bottom, or maybe just one. The other one might be a microphone. This is before, front-facing speakers or anything. You got to remember that. You do still retain a SIM card tray. And on the other side, you got the up and down. Still has that tactile feel. And then a physical mute switch button. And, Apple decided to get rid of that. Now that it's an action button, which you can program to do something else. But I still miss having the switch here. And then headphone jack on the top. So headphone jack, which I dearly miss. I miss having a phone with a headphone jack. I know a lot of people have moved over to wireless headphones, but wireless headphones have a lot of issues, in my opinion, with the convenience of not being tangled up. But if you forget to charge them, they're absolutely useless. I still use earpods, which are extremely underrated. Get you a pair of earpods. They are amazing headphones. They retain the volume and call and end button. This one's USB-C, but for a long time you could just use any kind of headphones and plug it in. I have these really nice in-ear monitors, and they have much better noise canceling than any wireless headphones. And it has a 3.5, which I just miss being able to do that. I know it's stupid, but you have to carry around those stupid little dongles. And if you don't have one, you can't use your headphones. This little stupid thing. Just bring back the headphone jack, man. I miss the headphone jack. It's pretty much all it is with the Tour. Power button on top, sleep wake or whatever. Unfortunately, I don't have a 30-pin charger anymore, so I don't even know if this will turn on. I will say when I was installing the new display, unfortunately, the display that the replacement display that came with this was the wrong display. So like my ribbon cable was too short. So even if I was to power this on, the screen wouldn't say anything. But I'm really curious to see if this would even be recognized on a MacBook. Another thing, flush camera. I do miss those days. I know we have better cameras now, but I miss having a flush phone where no wobble. I also miss being able to unlock your phone with a slide, and with Face ID, if you have your phone flat like this, it won't unlock. I'd much rather have Touch ID. There's a lot of things that they got rid of out of convenience, but honestly, having Touch ID is it's so much better than Face ID. I would take Touch ID over Face ID any day of the year, to be honest. It's just so much easier. And I wish, back then there was Android phones that would have the fingerprint on the back, or build it into the power button. Any of those options, honestly, would still be good. I understand that, we got more screen real estate, so you had to get rid of Touch ID, but, kind of like the iPad Air, they have a Touch ID on the power button. I wish Apple would just give us the option, because I don't really like Face ID, to be honest. These phones, what they lack though, you couldn't wirelessly charge. I got this awesome wireless charger. Doesn't stick. The most controversial thing about this phone was the antennas, which here, they use the aluminum frame as the antenna, and if you held it a certain way, it would actually kill off your reception. It was a huge Applegate. It was a huge scandal, not scandal, but controversial at the time. It got so bad that Apple decided to give every customer a free bumper case. You had a choice between a bumper case or a third-party case. This was a case that Apple designed for the 4, and you basically just put it over your phone like so, and that would protect the phone from getting the antenna signals blocked, because it had this plastic rail system. And honestly, out of all the cases, this is kind of like the most minimal that you could go at the time. Still keeps the back exposed. The back of the phone, if you cracked it, was actually really easy to replace. You take out the 2 screws, this slides right out, and you can just buy another back. So it was easy to replace the back of the phone. It was really hard to replace the front of the phone. And this case was just okay. I didn't really like it, but a lot of people, got this for free, like myself. So anyways, that is a throwback, look back at the iPhone 4, which a lot of good, a lot of bad, but overall, there's certain aesthetics and aspects of original iPhones that I miss very dearly.